All right, guys. Today is Monday, March 19th. We are working through the experiment with our group, and I want to get into some topics about what the experiment looks like when we're going through life and we hit normal life obstacles. We may hit really huge obstacles that are incredibly difficult to overcome, or we might hit obstacles like we're invited out to a meal, or we might go to a wedding, or we're taking a weekend trip, or we have a big vacation coming up, whatever that looks like. So I want to talk about that. I want to talk about some little things that people are having difficulties with, and then Sam's going to talk about some aspects of your fitness. Just so you know that our website will be going live, hopefully by the end of the week. We're hoping. It's not, for most people, it's just going to be a portal to come find out about the experiment, about Mama G's lifestyle plan, all of those things. But for you guys, it's going to be your portal into the lifestyle page where you're going to have access to the videos. All of the recipes will be there as well. So we are working on building all of our recipes so that they have all of your calories and macros right on the page so you can see it. It can be printed out. So if you want to print them out and make yourself a nice little notebook of Mama G's recipes, if you're a paper kind of person, or you can just throw them, download them and throw them into your computer, and then you can grab them on there. So that would be ideal too. So I'm going to suggest that we are now uploading all of Sam's videos. She'll talk about how she wants you to utilize those. And we're super excited because we're going to be doing a lot more stuff that's going to be accessible only by you guys, what we consider the current experimenters and the lifestyle group. All right, we've kind of gone from legacy to lifestyle because really that's what it is. We're trying to incorporate a lifestyle. You guys know I'm in my master's program, and I've been really challenged these last few months with having to do a lot of research, citing research, referencing research, and utilizing it as a backbone. So I can say anything I want, but I can't really do that credibly unless I have evidence behind me, all right? Along with the evidence side, which I think is really important, we have the anecdotal side of it, right? So I will say to you, innately, I have a pretty good intuition, all right? I have a good intuition with my kids, with life in general, and I have a pretty good intuition with nutrition. And what I have always said, and this is why one of Mama G's no-nos is no non-nutritive sweeteners, because intellectually and intuitively, it's always felt counterintuitive to put a chemical in your body, right? Something that's been made in a laboratory, something that's 100, 1,000, 10,000 times sweeter than natural sugar. All right, and natural sugar is something that comes from a beet or a sugar cane, right? That can be processed in a factory to actually come out as this product, sucrose, right? That the body then turns into glucose, which then provides energy to every bodily system. So intuitively, how could this be a good thing in terms of something that is highly sweet that's been made in a laboratory? And for me personally, I had experience with aspartame back in 1980 when we went from saccharin, right, which we believe causes cancer in laboratory animals, to aspartame, right, which is NutraSweet. And back in the day when I drank my Tab, some of you people remember that, I had an immediate headache. And honestly, I was in my second semester at UCSD. It was 1981, and I will tell you, clearly remember that was it. Last time I touched a soda, diet or otherwise, because why would I waste calories? I already knew why would I waste calories on a regular soda. So I knew, and just a huge study just came out, and maybe I'll post it for you guys. I just have to see how user-friendly it is, and I may post like an article that summarizes the study. But there is 100% evidence now that the non-nutritive sweeteners, and we're talking about stevia and truvia and Splenda and aspartame and every single one of them out there is causing issues within the microbiome. So you know that people talk about probiotics and prebiotics and the dairies and the yogurts and the sauerkrauts and all the fermented food that kind of help all those bugs, those billions of bugs inside of your intestines that do your job in terms of breaking things down, that those are good bugs. Those non-nutritive sweeteners are affecting the livelihood of the good bugs, which in turn potentially are causing us issues, right? And I'll just say gut issues because we'll talk about things like ulcerative colitis and Crohn's disease and irritable bowel syndrome and every other issue that we as a society have now, which is all new, okay? So I want to just mention that. So I already knew it, and I'm telling you that we don't need it as part of our lives. The other thing I wanted to talk about is Cara and some of the other participants who are on the newer side are struggling with how to do life, right? You know, we're running around with the kids, we're at a sporting event, we got to go eat lunch. What does that look like? We got invited out to dinner or lunch, or we have a wedding to go to, or we're going away for the weekend. It's really important to understand, especially in that first 90 days, and I'll extend that to your reaching goal, that if you're trying to get from point A to point B, in order to get from point A to point B, you can take a straight path or you can take the curvy path, which is going to take you a hell of a lot longer to get from point A to point B. So I'm telling you right now, I know when you get on that scale on Monday morning, how when the scale says something that you like, you are elevated to a whole different level than when the scale says no change or the scale says you've added to that number, okay? So we can't help how our brain perceives what that scale is saying. So what I'm saying to you is this: I know that you're all trying to work your way down the scale. So you gotta put your head in the game. I cannot be more clear with you that in order to get from point A to point B, that you have to be all in, okay? So, and I don't know why that just happened. You got to be all in. So what does that mean? It means sticking to your calories. It means looking at your macros for every meal. It means utilizing all of your food groups. And most importantly, for all of you that sit in the experiment, you need to allow me to hold your hand through this process. So Cara went, right? You went to an event your husband put on at the weekend at the Ritz-Carlton, really nice place. We had talked about what it would look like for her. She had already made a decision because she had been in for 30 days because she started early with us, that she was planning to have alcohol, all right? And we talked about her having 2 glasses of wine. Now, what does that look like? Does that mean that you're going to starve yourself, that you're not going to be getting your nutrition? What I said to her was 2 things could happen. 2 glasses of wine, maybe we're looking at 300 to 400 calories, depending on the pour on those wines. So, 300 to 400 calories, here's what could happen. If you already got your 5 hours in of your cardio, if you're on the 5-hour cardio regime, you can throw that 6-day in, by the way, knock out those calories, and we just took care of the calories from that extra wine. It's a thought, all right? I'm just throwing out some thought processes here. The last thing I really want to do is take away food groups from you. So I know that Cara did go get that workout in the morning. The other thing is, if we're looking at a dinner, you eat your normal breakfast. If you're a morning snacker, you have your morning snack. If you have your normal lunch, not restricting calories. And then that afternoon, whether you have a normal dairy fruit snack, guess what you're going to throw into that? You're going to throw into a whole heap of vegetables, all right? So you pre-pack your carrots and your bell peppers or your red peppers or your cucumber or whatever those mindless veggies look like, because likely you're not going to get them at that meal or at the event, right? And number two, those are things that you can fill yourself up with, right? So we've also talked about the fact that if you're going to an event like I did on Saturday, you know, when they said, what would you like to bring? I said, I'm going to bring a salad because I knew likely that I wasn't going to have the capability of vegetables, right? So I was able to make this big, beautiful salad with lettuce from Mark's Garden. And I brought that bottle of Green Goddess dressing from Trader Joe's because I knew that, you know, I wanted people to have the ability to have that. I threw lots of things into that salad, and I knew that no matter what happened at an event, I was going to find that starchy, grainy carb. I was going to add my plethora of vegetables to it, and whether or not they had any, and I could have a lean protein as well. So it's about thinking what that's going to look like, all right? So we got a plan. And the best part, I think, for Cara, which you now learned, which she didn't really realize previously, was that utilize me and utilize the group to say, hey, instead of after the fact, you know, I didn't know what to do for breakfast at the hotel. We ordered off a room service. I didn't know what to do. I felt out of control. You know, I didn't feel good to me. That's when you guys chimed in and said, hey, this is what I do when I go on a trip, right? I pack my oats. So we may use whole oats on a regular basis, by the way, because we have access to a microwave and all of these things, but you might give a call ahead and find out, like Cara did, that there's no microwave. So, okay, so how about we just go with plain instant oats, right? That we know we can add water to, right? So we can put that into my Fitness Pal. 2 packages of those oats likely, because I think they're about 100 calories a piece. And again, you'd have to look at it. And then you can bring your baggie with whatever you put in there, your nuts and your dates or whatever, your fruit or a half a banana or whatever that looks like. And, you know, again, you have that option for bringing a carton. And by the way, at Trader Joe's and all the other grocery stores, you could actually buy single serving 1% milks. You could buy single serving soy milks that you could actually just throw in your car so that they're available. So that if you need, you know, that serving of dairy, you got your little coffee maker in your hotel room, you just knocked out with a little hot water, which you know you have in that hotel room, a perfect meal, all right, instead of struggling with it. You also know you have access to places like Starbucks where you know you can get the spinach feta wrap and a latte, right? Which, by the way, Starbucks has 0% and 2% milk. So they will, if you ask for 1%, they'll take the 0 and the 2 and put them together for you, just so you know that. They also have a English muffin thing with egg white and turkey bacon. You know the way I feel about that. Turkey bacon, but if you like it, you know, every once in a while you can have it. So those are aspects that I think are important. I will just reiterate the fact that once you reach goal, your life becomes very different. Okay. Christy is sitting in that situation now at home. Number one, I get on my iWatch because we're friends. We share our exercises together. She hit, you know, all of her workouts last week. I mean, she's super proud of the fact that she's getting to the gym, even though she's been through 3 snowstorms, you know, and even though she's like tonight working till 9:30 at night closing. So she went to the gym first thing this morning. And she's enjoying her food and cooking and sharing that food with her son and her grandson, who initially snubbed their noses at it. And then when she says to them, close your eyes and take a bite, to her 50-year-old son and to her 10-year-old grandson, and they said, Grandma, Ma. He said, Ma, this is really good, Ma. So I said, listen, Christy, you have them buy your groceries for you and you cook double batches, and now you got food for you and you have food for them as well. So she's starting to influence her circle. And that's what I want to get back to right now. And all this researching that I've been doing for my class, and I have to write this paper, and I was trying to narrow down my topic. I'm going to inject this in your heads again because I think this is more important than anything else that I can tell you. If those of you who are parents, and Haley, you're not a mom yet, but hopefully in the near future you will be. But if I was to say to you what 2 things you hope for your children, you would tell me this, could put money on it. I want them to be happy and I want them to be healthy. I don't care what their age is. I don't care if they're 6 months old like Sweet Logan, or 30 like my girl, or whatever it looks like. Happiness and health. So whether you're a mom of a child that you're taking care of 24/7, or whether you're a grandparent, or whether you're a young person who has people in their life, if you're not, number one, modeling that behavior, it's unacceptable. Because why would you possibly think that anyone else would look to take care of themselves in that way if you're not modeling it? So I love our mothers in the group who are in the group, not only because they feel like they don't have a handle on food, maybe they were never taught how to cook or shop, or they don't feel like they have a good relationship with food, right? They don't even know how to go about eating. That's why a lot of people come to me. We have a lot of people my age and up who thought they could never improve their life. And Christy really was that catalyst for us learning that age is no barrier here, right? That no matter your age, you have a choice with what you put in your mouth and how you move that body. All right? And the fact is, if we aren't doing it for ourselves, what are we teaching everybody else in our lives? And that's where you got to get serious with this thing. All right? A lot of you moms in the group are here because you understand your kids are watching what's going on. All right? It's unacceptable for us, right, to want health and happiness for our children, but we're not willing to take the steps to be happy and healthy ourselves. And so I'm preaching to the choir because that's why you guys are here. Stay the course because you understand that everything that you're doing is the only control you have for living a longer, healthier lifestyle. You know, I started to write a paper on, or I did. I had to do an outline. I thought I was going to write this paper on the ketogenic diet. Is it for you? And by the time I was done with the paper at the end of the course, I realized that I could have said any diet, inject any diet in here. The ketogenic diet, the paleo diet, the high protein diet, the Atkins diet, the If It Fit My Natural diet. Any of the diets could have been and fit in there. Is it for you? And the fact is, if your goal is weight loss, and only weight loss, and only temporary weight loss, with the potential for harm, right? Because that weight loss causes you to lose muscle. It can potentially harm your kidneys. There's a lot of things that can go wrong with being on a diet that restricts food groups, all right? And restricts calories to a level of famine, all right? We've talked about what that looks like. Every single weight loss diet out there works. It works for weight loss. Not one of them is about weight management for a lifetime of health. Did you hear what I said? Weight management for a lifetime of health. So when people say to you, my gosh, you look so good. You seem to have so much more energy, blah, blah, blah. And you say to them, yep, I'm on a new lifestyle plan with a goal of being able to maintain my weight for a lifetime of health. And then they say, oh my gosh, tell me how you do it. You tell them this. You go to www.mamagslifestyle.com. And on that note, I'm going to unmute you all for a second. If you have a lot of background noise and you don't want to say anything, you don't have to. But I want to know in the next 5 minutes if there are things you are struggling with that we can talk about right now in terms of experiment, where you are that could potentially benefit the group. So there is my unmute everybody. Oh, look at Samantha B pops up there. All right. So anybody want to say something?
I mean, I have a question.
Yeah.
So you know how you said you went to an event last weekend and you brought the salad and the green goddess dressing, but that you said, well, I thought I heard you say that you knew there'd be a starchy, grainy carb. How did you know that? I would be totally panicked about what that would be.
Yeah. Well, that was okay because I knew I was going to a Hispanic event. So I knew there were going to be chips there, and I knew there was going to be corn tortillas there. Because guess what? I asked ahead of time.
Okay.
So in the event that, and you know, depending on where you're from in this country, especially my Minnesotans back there, you know, Minnesota nice. They don't want to, you know, say anything. They don't want to do the wrong thing, whatever. I'm going to tell you this. In all cases, you can inquire what the menu is because guess what, guys? I'm, you know, on this lifestyle plan, trying to really make good choices. Do you mind if I ask what you're having? And then you say, can I bring something? Or I'm going to bring. So what I always recommend bringing are two options. One, big platter of mindless veggies, right? Because you have the big platter of mindless veggies, and you know you got something to eat. If you want to make a little dip like Lisa Photo's been making with herbs and garlic and vinegar and your Greek yogurt, beautiful. And or you make a big fat salad, by the way, that has, let me get you unmuted again, that has a starchy grainy carb in there. So nothing is better than taking butternut squash or sweet potatoes and some red onions, a little olive oil, salt and pepper, roasting it in the oven. That on greens, delightful. On arugula, on whatever floats your boat, kale, that's a little massage so it's not so stiff. So now you got your greens, now you got your starchy grainy carb. You can do anything you want with it. You know, likely there's going to be a lean protein available, but you can also bring, what I've done is I bring like little bowls, and I've had maybe feta cheese and maybe some nuts in it and maybe some dried fruit in it so that it kind of becomes like a fun little potluck salad thing. And then I have more control over what's happening. And what happens in the other side of it, Cara, is that people try things they've never tried before, and they say to you, oh my gosh, can I have a recipe? How did you do that, right? So there's your opportunity to instill that really good behavior modeling with the people in your life. Okay, is that helpful? But you got to ask, girl. You must open your mouth and advocate for yourself.
Thank you.
All right. Anybody else?
We're still having problems going out to dinner.
Okay.
Can
yes.
you discuss that?
Okay.
Please?
So number one, ask me, which you guys have been really good at. Number two, try to think about that plate. So you guys are in the middle of 90 days. This is where you're going to get to a point where I would say to you, if you stayed the course through the entire day, all right, and this is just one meal out of the end of the whole week, all right, and you feel like you got your workouts in, you've been spot on, and this is your treat, don't get so crazy with it, all right? Think about a meal that's got a starchy grainy carb that's controllable, right? So if it's a pasta, maybe a marinara on it, not a white sauce, right? Because we have no idea what that looks like. Perhaps we get maybe it's the pasta with the marinara and a piece of grilled fish or chicken or whatever, and then whatever that side of veggie looks like. That can be done anywhere. A baked potato, right, with nothing on it, the lean protein, the vegetable. Splitting that meal, right, we know is a good idea because likely, especially with the starchy grainy and the protein, it's going to be well more than you need. And that's where bringing in a salad as well, right? A salad that doesn't necessarily have all the stuff on it, because you know we can get into trouble when there's the dressing, the cheeses, the nuts, the dried fruits, right? All of those things can just add a ton of calories to it. So you have to think about what that looks like, all right? Think about that plate. So I'll go to an Italian restaurant, okay? I will, if they have homemade pasta of any kind, homemade, that they make it in the restaurant, that's going to be my meal, guarantee you right there. Now, will I eat all of that pasta? Likely not. I'll probably split that meal with somebody. And if I can get a delicious piece of grilled fish, with just a little lemon on it, I'm a happy camper, and I will likely get a big salad of just greens, and then I'll see whatever their sauteed veggie is, and I will get a side of that for myself so that I control all aspects of it. Now, will I have the glass of wines? 100%. Levon, what do you say?
So wait, yeah, what are you saying? Here, wait. There you go.
So what about logging? It's one thing, picking the menu and
Yeah. So that's what I'm saying. So for you guys who are into your third month, you do not log that meal.
Oh.
This is the point where we're making that transition, right? Where you should have a good indication, look at Lolo, of all of your portions. Right, Lev?
Remember that you're not going to log very soon, and you're going to be going just off the plate. So tracking is the hardest part, the most uncomfortable part, really, right?
Absolutely.
Especially going out to eat. I would agree with you. What she's saying is that you guys are on this, like that you're this close to saying, okay, no more MyFitnessPal, and then say once in a blue mood coming up in 30 days, you just check a meal, just so you know that you're still on track. But you want to be in a position where okay, I've tracked this 300 times. If I have about this size, I know I'm in the ballpark. We're not trying to live a life of constantly having to monitor what we eat. We want to calculate what we should eat and know what's going to fuel us to feel as good as we can. But nobody wants to track their food for the rest of their life. I am not on that team, and I hope you guys aren't either, because that's somewhat of an eating disorder. So you're in a good position now, and you'll still have.
So I feel like we still want to track, because we're still not sure, right?
Exactly.
The breakfast and stuff, we know that now. We don't really have to track it because it's in our heads. We know it. But like yesterday, we went to a restaurant and it had the calorie count, and a lot of the meals were on the MyFitnessPal app. So we put in the restaurant name, and there was like a bazillion choices. So I picked what I thought was a good choice, which was scallops over risotto with veggies. Yeah. It was about 400 and some calories. But after I put it in, it still wasn't balanced. So then I'm searching, like, okay, what do I add? What do I take away? What do I do? It's just that's the part that's getting to us, I think.
Yeah, nope. So that's so Sam's right. Especially now, like those first 30 days, guys, keep your head in the game. Haley, Cara, keep your head in the game. All right. Even that second 60 days, most of the time, don't put yourself in situations that are going to make you really uncomfortable. All right. But absolutely, when we get into third month, you should be able to go to a meal and feel really comfortable that you can pick something that's going to be somewhat safe. Now, risotto, I don't know how safe that is, because typically cooked with a lot of fat and, whatever else in there.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember how it was. I think I was short. Let's see, what was I short on? I forgot now. I think I was short on carbs, actually.
Yeah, but I don't trust anybody, unless it's a major chain. I'm not trusting their MyFitnessPal calculation.
I know.
So I would rather have something like a baked potato, right? Where I could just go, okay, this is about 5 ounces or whatever. Because in my head, I've done this before. That piece of fish or that piece of chicken or whatever that protein is, and forget about the vegetables, because number one, where's my fat coming from? Nowhere at this point, likely, right? Because if I'm eating at least a piece of lean protein and I've got a baked potato with nothing on it, at least, my sauteed veggies will have some olive oil on it, likely. And then I have a little more control of what's happening there. So you should not be tracking it. But in your head, you should know breakfast, lunch, my snacks were in, I'm good to go. Having that glass of wine, so maybe I'm not going to have my after dinner snack and get out and enjoy it. That's the goal. Really the goal, and I hear you with the tracking on a regular basis. When you're home, track away, man. Why would you not? Not the meals that because they come, but when you get a new meal, even I will build the meal, figure out what the hell it looks like, right? But in general, you're getting to the point where most of your meals are going to feel really comfortable, and we learn, right? And one meal is not going to change the course of you reaching goal. On the other hand, not doing things like having more, having treats on a regular basis, adding foods when you're not normally having those, going beyond your food groups every day, not getting in your exercise. Don't point at her. She got 5 hours.
Yeah.
All right. So that gives Sam here 20 minutes. She's cooking, baby Lo's hanging out. I'm going to swap over to the center screen. See if I can do this. How do I do this? Spotlight video on Sam.
They're cute.
All right.
We're not muted, I don't think.
Yeah.
Fleckenberg.
No.
What do you
Am
have?
I muted?
No. Nope.
No.
Oh, okay. Okay, what am I talking about? So just a little touch on the thing that you guys were just saying, about you want to track, you want to be perfect, you want to, you still want results, which is great. And that type of motivation is what's going to keep you, for longer and longer, which is great. Don't turn it into something as if you didn't succeed because you had a meal that you couldn't track. You're still being very successful most of the time. If you have one outlying meal every once in a while, I would be lying to say that doesn't happen to me. I would say definitely 90% of the time I eat very clean. And then I've had the things, especially in the past 5 years where like I went to Six Flags and I had a funnel cake and I got so sick that I can never have it again. I mean, Gina always says, oh, I get so sick from sweets, whatever, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, ugh, it's so annoying that she says that. And then it happened to me. And I was like, okay, maybe I can never do that again. But even though like there's going to be times when, I don't know, you're going to have something that's like the risotto, I think for me would have been attractive. And I would have eaten it and said, I've done all the exercise I needed to this week. It's not an earn or a reward. It's just I'm going to have this different meal that I don't normally have for myself because I'm in this perfect situation to have it. And I'm going to be okay with it tomorrow morning because I know I'm going to have my power oats or whatever your breakfast normally is and so on and so forth. So just wanted to say that right off the get-go. But I did want to just jump over into the exercise thing for the people that have just started. This first 30 days when you have to exercise 3 to 5 times a week, depending on where you are in that scale, is super challenging. The best thing that happened today is Haley texted us and said, I couldn't get my hour workout in today. Is it okay if I do it on Sunday? Yeah, absolutely. But the thing was that she planned it. She said, you know what? I'm not going to make it today. Is this going to still work in my plan? So on and so forth. The most challenging part about being successful in exercise is being consistent. It's not actually being there and doing it, because once you get there, it's pretty much done. You're going to go there, you're going to be successful because there's no other option. And then when you leave, you're going to feel really great, but it's getting there, making the time for it, putting it into your life, whether it's first thing in the morning, whether it's the last thing at night. For myself, I used to train a lot. I mean, I used to be exercising all the time. It was my form of stress relief, also definitely a part of my career path. And after having my first baby, it's been a struggle. And I go to the gym tired, and I go to the gym when I don't want to, but I'm very motivated to feel strong again. And for so many people in the industry that I work in and that I love, it's a lot about the aesthetics. And not that the aesthetics are a bad thing, and aesthetics can be a thing that motivates you, but to feel strong, especially as a woman, to feel strong as a man, I'm sure feels just as good, is a really powerful thing for me as a mom, as me as a woman, as me as a friend, as me as a coach. And I am excited to see you guys build your strength as well. So with that being said, for those of you guys that are on that cardio requirement, keep going. It's worth it. You're building your base. If you don't build your base, there's nothing to grow upon. It's actually got her hand in a bowl of kale. So she's like crushing it. So if I put like the olive oil and lemon juice, hopefully I don't have to do as much. Anyway, so when you don't do that beginning phase, there's nothing to grow upon. So I came into this a little bit later than some of the people. Gina and I are always corresponded on a lot of the clients up until this point. So I know a lot about your history and so on and so forth. But now moving into week two, people will start, and the people that are currently here will get a building platform off of their cardio. So the biggest thing, people always want to get a booty. They want to get abs. They want to get a booty and abs. That's pretty much what they want. They want armpit hair?
No, the arm, the hanging arm.
Oh yeah, they want well, you were pointing at your armpit.
No, here.
No, I know what you're saying. They don't want the chicken wings.
Yeah, the part that waves.
No, butterflies. Something like. Diane Megula has a name for everything on your body that maybe you don't like. She'd be a good in this conversation. Anyway, so people usually want abs and a booty, and that's great. Get those abs and booties, but most importantly, I want you to focus on the back of your body. So activating your back, activating your inner core, hamstrings, glutes. So I guess the booty, and providing a little bit of upper body resistance. There is no reason, unless you're walking around like this, that your upper body will get strong. So the reason why your legs are always going to be stronger is because you walk and you have to carry your body weight. When you actually have extra weight gain, you're actually doing a form of resistance training just by doing your cardio. Hence, that's the beginning platform, especially in a weight loss program, but also for building strength as well. So what we're going to do is I'm going to send out, not on the Facebook page, it's actually going to be written out, and I'm going to go over in a video format how to go through that upper body strength progression. So it's going to start really, really basic. So a lot of times people, this is one of the biggest pet peeves. I actually, back in the day, I wanted to write a book about gym etiquette as a woman in a gym. No offense to any men out there, but for whatever reason, it's better now, way better now. But say even 10 years ago, there weren't very many women lifting, and there weren't very many women that felt confident going up to the rack, grabbing a set of dumbbells that weren't 5 pounds and doing something with them, whatever it is that they are doing. So I want you guys to have some type of foundation to go to the gym and do. Now, my biggest pet peeve, I kind of went on a sidetrack there, is when people call a push-up on your knees a girl push-up. Don't ever say that. Don't say that. What you should say is a modified position, because if you didn't know this, men have to modify push-ups too. So do kids. So do some women. But the reason that you're modifying them is because of your core, not necessarily your upper body strength, although it could be both. So usually it's your core, mostly deep transverse abdominis, and then your lumbar spine accessory muscles, which are your erector spinae down bottom, are not strong enough to hold that plank position, and that's why you modify. So by calling it a girl push-up, kind of like says like all these bad condescending things that just aren't true. So we'll be doing, so I want you to have an idea of what's going to be happening. There will be push-ups. Push-ups is one of the best ways to build an upper body strength. No, you're not going to get jacked. If push-ups got you jacked, I'd be doing them. I would never stop doing them. So you're going to be doing push-ups. You're going to be doing what's called a lat pull down. It's a progression off of a pull-up. You're going to be doing it from an accessory piece of equipment, and then you're also going to be doing it off of a bar that's already stable. So I don't know if you know what a Smith machine is. I'll put pictures and all this stuff up, but that'll be stuff that you'll do as a progression. Okay, so it'll be sent to everybody that's on this right now will get it, and then everybody else, thanks Logan, everybody else that's in either can finish 30 days or more. Now, with the cardio, 5 days a week, 3 to 5, whatever it is that you're on for your progression right now, that's something that you can do. All the core exercises that I've given you up to this point, starting with we had the pelvic peel, we had the bird dog, and we had just a foam roller talk. That stuff you can do all the time. When it comes to challenging a muscle group, you don't do it every day. The reason you don't do it every day is because then you're doing a repetitive movement that could cause an injury. So I don't want to see everybody doing push-ups every single day. I would like you guys to spread them out. So it will say 3 times a week, blah, 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 blah. But I want you to know Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday are not those 3 days, okay? It has to be it could be a Monday, Wednesday, Friday. It could be you could double up 2 days. I'd be okay with that. But I don't want you guys right off the bat trying to hit 1, 2, 3 and then not do any strength training for your upper body for the rest of the week. It's just not as successful. You won't have as much strength for the second day to work harder. I want to talk to you a little bit about the verbiage that's going to be in there. There are different types of movement. An eccentric movement is in your push-up is going to be going on the way down. You want to think about controlling it. So it will say controlled eccentric. I will have video on this as well. Oops, sorry. The isometric is just holding. I think I wrote on there hold. I don't think I wrote isometric, but sometimes when I'm talking and I'm in a groove, I'll use those words. And isometric contraction is literally no movement. I can do one with my bicep right now. I can do it with my abs right now. I can do one with my butt cheeks right now. It's when it's not moving. It's just contracting the muscle. So if in my videos I keep going off on a tangent about isometric contractions, now you know what they are. So that's the first progression. So for 4 weeks, it's either 4 or 5 weeks, you're going to start with that. And then we're going to add into some lower body on that next week, on that next cycle, but you'll continue doing the upper body as well. There's still going to be a weekly thing going on as well. Please, please, please ask me questions directly so that I can get back to you sooner. The easiest way is definitely if you wanted just to tag me on Facebook, or if you have my number, shoot me a text. That's the easiest way to do it. But I want you guys to really, I think that one of the points with the trying to still be like super perfect in the diet is so crucial, because you cannot out-train a bad diet. But exercise and dietary intake go hand in hand for a lean, strong stature and body. Really, I just sat for a cert last Saturday. No, not last Saturday, last week. It was Tuesday. Anyway. And God bless you. And there's so much to be said for people challenging tissue on a cellular level. You can't approach an exercise progression thinking you're not doing enough. You have to start on your base and you have to build there. I myself, coming out of being pregnant, I was super strong before. I started body weight for weeks, and then I added 10 pounds, and then I added 5 pounds, and then I added 10 pounds, and then I added 5 pounds, depending on what it is. And I've built so much strength in 6 months that I'm going to be stronger than I was pre-pregnancy. It's taking the time to go back and build the bottom of that pyramid. That's super, super, super crucial and growing in strength. Lastly, we have videos that are on the Facebook right now. Super hard to find sometimes when you're scrolling down. Remember that you can go over onto videos and then you can find them there, or you can go to the YouTube channel. It's under Mama G's Lifestyle, right?
Yeah, I'll have to send a link.
She'll send the link. But then once you guys get on the website, which is really, really, really convenient, you'll be able to access those, and there'll be a lot of tutorials on all sorts of things as we're growing our bank. My last thing was, dun, 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 dun. Let's see, 3, 2,
So let me
1. No, that's it. Anybody have any questions, concerns, or comments? Gina.
Pick me. So not a bad idea to get a foam roller to have at home. All right. So that, guess what? You're watching TV, and instead of laying on the couch, you lay on your floor and you do some of these things that Sam is showing you. You get on the floor and you do your pelvic peel if you're working from that progression. You you do your bird dog. You have all those things you can do. Those things can be done at home, you know, with your little cell phone in front of you, or looking at our website and getting to YouTube. You don't have to do it when you're at the gym, when you know I'm already going to be there an hour, and now you're telling me I've got to add the strength component into it. Plan your time.
Good point.
I mean, Christy's the perfect example of somebody who, you know, she was at the gym. You know, we got her to that hour workout, and then we got her to the 5 hours a week. And then by the time she left here, she was spending 2 hours and 2.5 hours. Go.
At some point, you won't be doing cardio 5 days a week.
Correct.
If you will take out some of those days just to strength train, which will probably be closer to 40 minutes with a mobility section in front, and that you guys will have an idea of what to do. Do I think that getting in touch and working with somebody is a good idea? Absolutely. That's what I do for a living. Do I think you have to? No, I don't. I think that you can, if you want it bad enough, you'll do it. You'll ask questions, just like your diet. It's the same type of idea. And we can communicate this way. I have clients that are online. I can hold your hand. I have clients that are in New England. I have clients that are in
Nebraska.
I have clients in North Carolina that they bring me on their phone, and then they set me there, and I sometimes will watch, because I'm to a fault probably a perfectionist when it comes to body biomechanics with structural movements. Once you feel it, you won't lose it. And it's kind of like riding a bike. Believe it or not, there's a bad way to do push-ups. Believe it or not, there's a bad way to do squats. Believe it or not, there's a bad way to do a shoulder press. I wouldn't worry about it because you're going to start so light, and you can always take a little video of yourself and you can send it to me, and I can say, looks great. Or I'll tell you, put the dumbbells a little bit further back behind your head. Or I'll tell you, make sure you lock your elbow. Or maybe I'll always tell you, pull your shoulder blades back and together. But there's so much room to grow in being better for the rest by building a platform of strength, and you won't know it until it starts happening. And when it starts happening, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So I'm really excited to see, hear, and help you guys along that way, and help you pave the road to feeling that way.
Great. So
so you want us to start doing the strength training after the first 30 days?
Is this Haley?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can't see who's talking, so I was trying to figure it out.
Okay.
Yes, so you, it's a progression of a base builder. So what you're doing already is fine. This is something like, so just for example, so you guys are on the same page, Haley's been doing some classes, like HIIT classes. She's done a PIO class, which is a form of HIIT-ish, that for her cardiovascular requirement, which is great. It counts. This Haley will be helping you build strength in a specific pattern, and it's a little bit different. So it's something that you would add on to, say you were going to take your PIO class. It's something that you would do if it was the day that you were going to do it. Either I would prefer you do it before, but you could do it after as well. Make sense?
Yeah.
I have 2 questions. Can you hear me?
yes, Diana.
Oh, okay. Well, the first question is, if you're doing some strength training and you find that you can't do it, like, 3 12s, 3 sets of 12, but then you're at a certain weight and you can't even do like the 12.
Okay.
Do I back off on the weight?
You do one of 2 things. You could, yes, back out on the weight until you can hit that full rep count, or 2, you can rest and then come back into it. My first question though would be, 1, are you doing this every day? How often are you doing it? And 2, are you actually you went like this, so I'm assuming you were doing a shoulder press. Is that correct?
Yeah, the machine.
Okay. I just want to make sure when you do an exercise like that, there's a recovery point. So the recovery point is actually locking your elbow.
Oh.
So if you don't lock your elbow, you're going to burn your shoulder out super fast. So when you're in that machine, make sure you hold for a second and then come all the way back down. And I bet you'll be able to get more reps than you could without doing that.
So Diana,
Okay.
you know what we'll do is we'll set up a call, this call just like this with you, me, and Sam, hopefully this week, and we can kind of go through what you're doing because Diana, you know, she's our 3 in the morning gal at the gym, getting in her 5, hours of cardio in, and then she's doing her strength training. So we want to give you a more clear picture because she is now in her 3rd month now with us. So I want to make sure she's doing the right thing. So we will get with you, Diana.
Okay.
Go get it.
The other question is the knees. There's no padding. And so when I try to get on the floor, I kind of have to fall on the floor. And then it's the getting back up.
Yeah.
And so should I even try to do the bird dog? I mean, I have trouble getting up. So I'm actually using my lift chair to kind of lean on the lift chair and push the button to help get me up when I do the foam roll.
A little bit, but I think I get the gist of what you're saying. This is my answer to this. Right now, I think that as long as your knee's not becoming more aggravated, then I don't think it's a bad thing for you to do. I would say put a pillow down and maybe start with just doing those a few times a week so that it's not a constant thing. I don't want you to do anything that you're going to dread. So if it's like, oh, I've got to do this and I have to blah, 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 blah. I don't want that to be the case, okay? I want you to actually have some type of enjoyment in whatever you're doing for exercise. And if something that isn't enjoyable, I don't want you to do it. But with this movement, I see so much benefit for you. I would say try to start off doing it 2 or 3 times, and it's going to start getting easier and easier for you to go up and down. And then let's just check and see how that works in the next couple of weeks. If it's terrible, I'll find a different modification for you. Let me look into that.
Okay, thank you, Sam.
You bet.
All right. Anybody else? Anything pressing? Because we've come to our hour. Is that a no? All right. Everybody's unmuted. So, here's the deal. We're in, almost the end of March. Put your heads down, right? Let's get that food. Let's enjoy that food. Lev can no longer say, I need variety, because we are killing the variety, folks, right? Your food should be unbelievable. That dinner I made last night for the old family, the old Fit Fam dinner, the minestrone soup was beautiful. The chopped salad that I had made, because I copied Diane Maglia's. She had made it for the night that we had our get-together. I made that whole wheat focaccia, which I will get the recipe out to you guys. And then for those of the people who wanted to have a little meat protein, animal flesh, I wish I could find a better word for that. I did, Italian sausage on peppers and onions, all right, which I decided not to have any of. But Logan had carrots from Auntie Jean from the minestrone for the first time. Anyway, so, you guys utilize the recipes. Rebecca and I have been building away. All the recipes that are ready to go are on the experiment page, and they will be pushed into the website. So there will be a picture on the website. You'll be able to find it different ways. You've got the recipe, like I said, you can print out. You can go to MyFitnessPal when you add on your food and you put in whatever it says on the recipe. Mama G's tamale pie, Mama G's breakfast smoothie, Mama G's whatever. And you do what I say. It may say have a serving of this and then add 30 grams or 35 grams of avocado to hit your macros. It might already, for instance, include cheese in the recipe, and on the bottom will say use 1 ounce of Parmesan cheese. It's already included in there. A lot of times the pasta is already included in there. So pay attention closely to the recipe. The only thing I'll mention about the recipe that we're still trying to tweak is serving sizes are difficult for us, especially if it's a soup, a casserole. I don't know how you've chopped your vegetables. You might have more mass than I might have, so you really got to pay attention to the recipe. It'll tell you to weigh the whole thing or measure the whole thing, and if it says 8 servings, figure it out. You guys are smart. This isn't rocket science, but it's become very useful. It's very easy, and really that's the goal, is to make this super easy for you guys. You asked and you received. Let's go get it. Let's stay to the course, and then utilize the Facebook page. It's been awesome. You guys are awesome. And text me. If you need Sam's information, text us. But once the website's up, everything's readily available. You guys can get to us super easy. So we're super excited. And then, by the way, you know what to tell your friends. You want to be just like me? Go to www.mamagskitchen.com. No, Mama G's Lifestyle. Sorry. Sam?
We got some new people starting. Sorry, I have something in my mouth. We have some new people starting in the next couple of weeks. So remember to share the love, just like people have done to you in the past. The beginning's tough, trying to figure it all out.
Right. The learning curve's rough, right? But and then all of a sudden you get it. Kathy had shared with me, like, she can't believe, almost 90 days in, and it's become a lifestyle, right? In the beginning, the exercise was super hard. She didn't know how she was going to get it. Now she's like, I can't imagine not doing it. I'm like, oh, it's like the angels are singing. Ah! And the food, has just, it's been life-changing. So remember what this is going to look like, guys. I mean, a lot of you have already felt the effects with your sleep, with your guts, with your attitudes, with your bodies, with your labs. All of these things are pretty phenomenal. And I've always said, for Sam and I to be part of this, it's a privilege. And we appreciate your trust in us. And let's go get them, folks. Let's show everybody what it's like to have a long and healthy life, because we put our heads down, right, and chose to do it. So this will be available on video. It'll be put up to our YouTube page as well, so you can watch it again or listen to it again when you want to, at the gym or when you're cooking or whatever. So, all right, folks, you guys have a good one. Baby Logan, sleep all night for the Madre, please. All right, guys, take it easy.
Thank you.
All right, Samantha. Logan. Lolo. I just stopped the recording. Mr. Doodoo, do you see Auntie G on there?
We can hear you.
Do you see me? You got to smile. You got to smile for me. Who is that? Who's that crazy lady? Who's that cuckoo lady? All right, gotta go cook dinner. Take it easy.